every single year, we are looking for those guys in ADP that are being valued way lower than their ceiling and have the potential to win your leagues. These are guys that have league-winning upside, and we're going to talk about 5 running backs specifically. Dynasty Domain guys, why 5? Because 5's a good number. 5 guys, burgers and fries. Like, we just like the number 5. So, look, these are guys that we think have so much of a higher upside than where they're currently going at ADP, and while their situation at face value might not be the most attractive, there are a lot of statistical reasons, a lot of statistical backing why we think they are promising going into this season. So we're going to start it off with Dameon Pierce, currently going at running back 22, I believe, on Underdog, and Simon's going to hit it off.
When we're looking at Dameon Pierce, first off, his name is Damien, right? You're going to notice that theme in this video.
Yeah.
But he's a really safe pick.
Spoiler.
Not only are you looking at really, outside of Devin Singletary, who they signed to like nothing, the only running back in the Texans offense, he was really good last year. As a rookie, he came in and had 23% of his finishes. He finished as an RB1. 46%, he finished as an RB2. Right now, like we said, he's being drafted as a borderline RB3, and when you're most weeks getting at least an RB2 and sometimes an RB3 finish, an RB1 finish, I think that's a really safe pick. He had receiving upside. Last year, he averaged 3 targets per game, and that's right along guys like Najee Harris with 3.1. Travis Etienne, the receiving upside king, had 2.7 targets per game last year. Jonathan Taylor had 3.6, and you're looking at guys like Josh Jacobs with 3.9. And so coming into his sophomore season, I don't think it's unreasonable with a better quarterback play for the Texans not only to pass the ball more, but for Dameon Pierce to pick up an extra target here and there. And in PPR and half PPR leagues, that gives him, 1 to 2, maybe even 3 points per game extra on top of what he already did. We already saw how efficient he was running the ball in a bad offense. The Texans have gone out, they've improved their offensive line, and I really think Dameon Pierce, 1,000-yard rusher next year. RB22, I'm loving the price. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. This is a guy who I think has really just flown under the radar for some reason. It's odd because of his production last year. Like, from an ADP perspective, last year, he was going higher going into that year than he is now. And he's going into a better situation.
Was he really?
And he's a second-year running back. So, you can fact-check me on that, but I'm almost certain that was the case because he was getting a lot of preseason hype.
Yeah.
Remember what he did in the preseason?
I do.
9 yards per carry or something. Everyone's like, woo! So, yeah, anyways, we really like Dameon Pierce at his current price. The next guy we're going to talk about is a rookie, and that's Zach Charbonnet, going at running back 34. And this was something that, the dynasty community, the fantasy community was just totally thrown for a loop in the NFL draft when Zach Charbonnet went to the Seattle Seahawks in round 2 when they already seemingly found their guy in Kenneth Walker the year before. And of the 17 running backs selected in the second round since 2017, 14 have averaged 9+ points per game in their rookie year. Only A.J. Dillon, Ronald Jones, and James Cook averaged less. And I think what this means is, despite what you may feel about the situation in Seattle in the run game, I would look past your personal opinion on what may happen there and just trust the historical data. Trust what we've found. Trust what we've seen with second round draft capital, and look at how the Seattle Seahawks are probably going to utilize Zach Charbonnet. That's a guy who in college averaged 9 yards, dang near 9 yards per carry, and had significant receiving upside. And what do you mean? No.
6.3 yards per carry.
Or I'm sorry, yards per reception. He averaged 9 yards per reception, had significant receiving upside, and had very respectable yards per carry. Very efficient. So with this guy, 9.3 and 11.2% target share in his last 2 seasons in college at UCLA. And
that's something Kenneth Walker did not have.
Kenneth Walker did not have. And I think that's why the Seattle Seahawks drafted Zach Charbonnet in this rookie draft, is because Kenneth Walker wasn't consistent with his receiving upside, and he wasn't consistently efficient even running the football. Actually, the less they utilized him from a snap share perspective, the better he did. So I think what that means is that Charbonnet and Walker are probably going to split time, and while people are really scared of the committee backfield systems in the NFL right now and in fantasy, when you're looking at Charbonnet's price at running back 34, that's a pretty impressive price when you're looking at a committee backfield system with a very, very high-powered, high-producing offense. I mean, look at David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is going at running back 14 right now on Underdog, and David Montgomery's going at running back 23. I'm just passing up on Montgomery, and I'm taking Zach Charbonnet a round or two later because they really both have the same amount of upside, and I think Charbonnet might even have a little bit more with his receiving upside. He's just more efficient. Borderline running back 4, it's worth the upside there, guys.
Yeah.
Even though he's potentially the running back 2, there's an argument to be made, and Simon thinks this. I want to hear what you have to say about this a little bit, but is there a chance that Zach Charbonnet outproduces Kenneth Walker this season?
Well, absolutely, I think that. And not only, I mean, we're talking, he's going to get the receptions, he's going to get the targets, but Kenneth Walker, he's most likely the better rusher. And I think if you're talking who's getting the carries on first down, it's going to be Kenneth Walker every time. He's more gifted athletically, he's faster, he's going to be more of a home run hitter. I think third down, it's going to swing the other way. Zach Charbonnet is going to be getting those third down reps. And in second down, I think depending on how many yards they need, what situation they're in, whether in the red zone, whether in midfield, I think it's not just going to be Kenneth Walker every time. I think Zach Charbonnet offers plenty of upside as a rusher and on his own right. I mean, 6.3 yards per carry over his last 2 yards in college. And yes, we get that it's college. Now he's in the NFL. But I really do think Zach Charbonnet has a very good chance to at least match Kenneth Walker's production. And we don't predict injury here. That's not what fantasy is. But let's say Kenneth Walker does get hurt. Zach Charbonnet is completely capable of coming in and being that workhorse running back on his own. That's what he did in college. That's why he was such a valuable prospect and why he was drafted in the second round. I mean, that's all we have to say about him.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the guys that are those second-round outliers, A.J. Dillon, Ronald Jones, and James Cook. And if you look at their respective splits their rookie years, this is pretty telling. A.J. Dillon in 11 games his rookie season had 2 targets for 2 receptions. Ronald Jones in 9 games had 9 targets for 7 receptions. And James Cook, I mean, he was just straight up playing with Josh Allen. And I mean, what was the running back's production with Josh Allen historically? It's not much. I mean, it's Singletary at best. And
RB2s.
And you're looking at Charbonnet playing with Geno Smith. Like, he is poised to totally outproduce his current price on Underdog and in ESPN drafts right now. Next guy we're going to talk about is a Bills running back, and it is going to be Damien Harris, not James Cook. Damien Harris currently going at running back 38, and in 36 active games since 2020, on an average of 41% snap share, he scored 11 points per game, which would have been good for running back 29 in 2022. So you're looking at a guy who is able to produce as a high-end running back 3 with very minimal snap share. I mean, less than half. It's 41%. And you're putting him into an explosive offense where Singletary is gone, Zach Moss is gone. It's really just Damien Harris and James Cook because Nyheim Hines is out for the season now as well, and that really helps Damien Harris. So at running back 38, I want to hear your take on this as well, Simon, but I think his ceiling is much higher than where he's going, and that's why he could end up being a league winner for you.
Completely. And you look at Damien Harris since he entered the NFL, he has virtually no receiving upside, and that's where James Cook is going to have a grasp on that offense. James Cook is going to have those third down situations on lock. But Damien Harris, like we said, has had considerable production since he entered the NFL, even finishing as an RB1, in 2021?
Yeah.
But weekly, he has RB2 potential. Since 2022, 36% of his games, he's been an RB2, and another 11% has been RB1. And when you're being drafted as an RB4 at running back 30, 38, I love that. You look at Devin Singletary vacating a 65% snap share last year. That's going to be wide open, and James Cook is not going to take all of that. Yes, James Cook is going to have the receiving. We've already gone over that. The most receptions Damien Harris has ever had in a season was 18 in 15 games. He's not going to have that role, but Damien Harris will have the few goal line touches that there are playing with Josh Allen. He'll have those on lockdown. He'll have the short yardage situation, and they're playing on a good offense. See something similar to Jamal Williams in Detroit last year, and I think looking as late as he's going in the 11th or 12th round, I'm fine with Damien Harris there. I think it's a really good pick and offers considerable upside.
Yeah.
And the guy we have next coming up he is behind someone who will have a chokehold on the role. It's Elijah Mitchell playing in San Francisco, obviously behind Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is going as the running back 1 overall in fantasy right now, and you look 40 spots later to find Elijah Mitchell at running back 41. Just 2 years ago, though, Elijah Mitchell led the NFL. No, last year, Elijah Mitchell led the NFL in yards per carry. He had 6.2 yards per carry and 5.9 true yards per carry. He was very, very efficient playing behind Christian McCaffrey. But that's not even why we're going to be drafting him. Christian McCaffrey, again, we're not going to predict his injury. But let's say Christian McCaffrey goes down. That's why you're drafting someone this late. That's why you're drafting Elijah Mitchell. In 2021, when he was the lead running back, he was 13th in targets, 14th in yards per carry, and 8th in rushing yards. He's very capable of being a replacement level Christian McCaffrey if he happens to go down. RB41, I think, is already reasonable with Christian McCaffrey in that offense. You look at the weeks that Elijah Mitchell came back, he was giving you 7, 8, 9 points per game, and that's fine that he's going to offer those upside weeks playing on the 49ers offense in general. But back in 21, he averaged 15 points per game and had 27% of his finishes as a running back 1. I think as late as he's going, Elijah Mitchell is a great pick.
Yeah, and with Mitchell, I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant to take him. I think in underdog, he is worth the pick, but in ESPN drafts and your standard redraft leagues, I'm going to be passing up on Mitchell more often than not just because he's only played in 16 games in his first 2 seasons. And I mean, if you're concerned about CMC getting injured, I would be even more concerned about Elijah Mitchell getting injured. But when you're playing an underdog and playing in best ball, you're looking for guys that have running back 1 upside. And when Elijah Mitchell is healthy and you're hoping he is towards the end of the season, he's that guy that could literally win you a league in best ball because of his production. I mean, this is a guy that could jump into your flex just because he had a running back 1 week. So I definitely like his price there at running back 41. And then we're going to close this out with Jaylen Warren at running back 44. And Simon, I'm going to have you head this out and lead this because I have some questions about Jaylen Warren personally, but I know you're a bit higher on him than I am.
Yeah, I mean, Jaylen Warren was drafted in what I like to call the 8th round of the NFL draft last year. He has no draft capital, and the Steelers owe him nothing, right? He's playing behind Najee Harris, who just 2 years ago was selected in the first round. And so it was impressive. It was really impressive when he was able to get a 31.6% snap share last year. That's not what you expected at all, seeing Najee Harris as one of the heaviest workhorse backs we've seen in a long time now. But Jaylen Warren gave us 600 all-purpose yards on 4.7 true yards per carry. Najee Harris had 3.7. He was incredibly inefficient last year. And I'm not saying, this is not me saying at all that Jaylen Warren is a better running back than Najee Harris. He was playing from behind him. He got to benefit from the defenses being worn down by Najee. Najee's a big running back. He's a bruiser, and he was going to wear those running backs down.
Yeah.
Those defenses down, and Jaylen Warren came in. But he is a genuinely good route runner. He offers a lot in the receiving game. I believe he had 28 receptions last year. I don't have it in front of me. I'd like you to pull that up. But he was good in the receiving game, and and I think that alone is going to keep him having a role on the Steelers' offense. He's a really good run blocker. That gets him on the field as well. And when you're looking at the Steelers' offensive line, both Najee and Jaylen Warren are going to benefit. They've added Broderick Jones in the first round, Isaac Seumalo coming from the Eagles last year, and they added Darnell Washington, who's a beast of a run blocker as well. And honestly, Jaylen Warren at running back 44, does he offer running back 1 upside? Almost certainly not. And I don't expect him to finish as a running back 1 at all. But if Najee Harris happens to get hurt, this is just a video telling you who has league-winning upside. If Najee Harris gets hurt, I think Jaylen Warren could be one of those guys who surprises. He already has shown he has the skill set to deserve a role on an NFL offense. And in that case, I think he would really do wonders.
So guys going around Jaylen Warren, I just want to hear who you prefer, Jaylen Warren or this respective running back. Elijah Mitchell.
I'll take Elijah Mitchell.
Okay. Yeah. Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, I'll take Jaylen Warren.
Okay. Jamal Williams.
I'll take Jaylen Warren.
Tank Bigsby.
I'll take Tank.
Okay. Algier.
I'll take Algier.
Kendre Miller.
I'll take Kendre.
And last one, Roshan Johnson.
I'll take Jaylen Warren.
Okay. So personally for me, every single one of those guys except for Algier, I'm preferring over Jaylen Warren. Me personally, I'm not gonna be taking him everywhere. I'm not as excited about Jaylen Warren's upside as I am for a guy like Roschon Johnson, who at any point in the season could take the running back one role in the Bears offense. And I mean, heck, even Kendre Miller or Jamal Williams, they have pretty much an equal opportunity to be the running back one in New Orleans, even as much as Alvin Kamara. So that's kind of where I stand on it with Jaylen Warren. I completely see your side, and I think you're right. His efficiency and his opportunity in the passing game is going to be a reason why you could be excited about Jaylen Warren. But thank you guys so much for watching today. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe if you haven't, and then go check out flockfantasy.com. Go subscribe. You'll get exclusive videos, exclusive articles, and a Discord and a team review from us if you use code DOMAIN. There's a lot of great stuff that we have going on over there, and a super cool website. We're spending a majority of our time over on that website helping out our guys that have supported us in that community. So thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we'll see you later.